And I welcome you today to CSE Talk Radio. It is my honor, my privilege, and my pleasure to be here with you today. You know, when a people don't know right from wrong, when a people don't know up from down, and when a people remain ignorant, whether by choice or by constant distractions, what happens? There was an election yesterday. How many of you knew what and who you were actually voting on or even bothered to vote? When will we, including me, start to take responsibility for our voting choices? There was much to do yesterday about the primary races. Some are still too close to call. In Missouri, at least in my precinct I voted at, they ran out of Republican ballots. First, she said they had a bigger turnout of the Republicans than they thought, and then she confessed, she said the Republican ballots had a mistake on them. So the Republicans had to use, they had one voting machine, so the Republicans had to use the voting machine, so they were all lined up, while the Democrats that walked in, which were very, very few when I was there, used paper ballot. Does anybody else see anything wrong with that picture? We also had a right to work proposition on the ballot, and like Ed warned us, lots of outside dollars poured into the state to fight it, and I say lots of people didn't understand what it was. So, right to work was defeated here in the state of Missouri yesterday. I'm not too worried and concerned about it because it just puts us back where we were. Nothing's changed. But the problem is the outside money that comes into other states from those with an agenda. And the problem is, and there was a gentleman, a really nice guy, he was behind me there in the precinct. He come bopping in there to vote. He had a heavy accent, not Hispanic. Don't get me started there, wasn't that. Really nice gentleman. And he'd just taken some of his kids to the fair, grandkids, he said. And he was told to come back up here and vote because he hadn't voted yet. And that he was told to vote no on Proposition B, or A it was. So he came there strictly because he was told to, because he didn't realize the voting was going on, so he could vote against the Proposition A. When a people don't know right from wrong, when a people don't know up from down, when a people remain ignorant, whether by choice or by constant distractions. I also noticed a Democrat candidate parked a large truck with a great big rooster or chicken or tin something in it right in front of the voting precinct. However, they were apparently within the 25-foot rule, but it was right in front of the voting precinct, and yes, it was obvious, and it was a distraction. I have a montage of news today that I believe is proof as to how far down this nation and we the people have allowed ourselves to go, have allowed the politically correct jargon to disrupt and remove common sense and liberty, inside, outside, upside down. Are you following the special counsel with Mueller, supposedly investigating President Trump for Russian collusion, although everybody he's taken to court that's on tax problems? Have you noticed the rhetoric of politicians? Have you noticed how many politicians are very wealthy? Have you noticed that we are a selfish people who don't seem to care a whole lot about the next generations? Society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they will never enjoy. We're running out of shade in this nation because we're running out of old men and women who care about others, but only care about enjoying their own now. Morals are gone in this nation with the exception of a few. And as I was writing this monologue, breaking news kept popping up on the right-hand side of my computer. And I'm saddened by more evidence of evil, selfishness, insanity, and lack of integrity as well as respect for life. Let's get on with the news here. But my friends, you need to be in prayer for this nation. I do believe we are given a last chance with President Donald Trump. Not because he's a saint, we all know that he's not. But he isn't one of them. And if nothing else, we have been allowed to see the truth of the deep state, as well as the ignorance of many in this nation, and how we have been fools. This nation's governing was a great experiment that is quickly failing and ready to blow up in our faces. So pray for wisdom and pray for forgiveness, for we all are guilty of doing nothing. As the great parliamentarian Edwin Burke said, the only thing necessary for triumph of evil is for the good men to do nothing. So as I was writing this monologue, all these things were popping up on the side of my computer. And one breaking news, and I haven't really had time to study it, but it's an ongoing thing right now, is a shooter. It's been reported at a New York hospital. And it says breaking a Westchester Medical Center in Valhalla, Valhalla, New York. Man shot his wife on the 4th floor of the hospital. He poses domestic incident. Armed security officers stopped the gunman and recovered a weapon without incident. But it is on a lockdown, apparently. But this is an ongoing situation. And I thought they said that he had hostages, but if they've already captured him, then they probably don't. It says shots were fired at Westchester Medical Center on Wednesday. Westchester County, New York police said officials confirmed it was an active scene. It was an active scene, but didn't provide further details. And they are on a lockdown. So if you've heard anything about that and you know anything more than that, that just popped up on the side of my computer, and I wanted to share that with you, along with another proof. That one is proof that we have no respect for life. No integrity is the next one. And of course, I don't have to go too far other than I must have buried it. But it is a Republican, and he has been arrested. I gotta find it here. He has been arrested for insider trading. You know, I don't understand why they arrested him. I thought they approved that and made that legal. Republican U.S. Representative Chris Collins was arrested on insider trading charges. It says Collins, 68, faces insider trading charges along with his son, Cameron Collins, and Stephen Zarsky, the father of Cameron Collins' fiance, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York. The case is related to inmate, well, I can't even pronounce that. I don't know what they've done. They've scribbled that. Anyway, an Australian biotech company on which the elder Collins served on the board. No integrity. Do you wonder why the politicians are wealthy? Do you wonder why they want to hold on to that deep state? Why they were so upset when we, the people, gave them some outsider as president? Like I said, if nothing else, the deep state has been exposed. And you know what? Every night when I watch the news, every time another one of these type of things pops up, we realize just how deep the state was. And we haven't been a democracy or a republic for a long time. We've been a mess. 877-895-5410 is the number to call. That's 877-895-5410. And we will be right back.